Welcome to Planting Seeds with the Partnership. This is your host, Kayla Grigsby, and I have three phenomenal women on the show today. We are going to talk about Black leadership at the Partnership and what type of influence that has on the culture of our work, what we do, and I'm super excited. This is in lieu of Black History Month, and while it is amazing to talk about the history that we've had with Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, it is also super encouraging to see people in your everyday lives that are making history every day. So without further ado, I'd like my guests to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Danielle Johnson. I'm the Executive Director with Durham's Partnership for Children.
Hello, my name is Shakima Crawford, and I'm the Early Head Start Director for Durham's Partnership for Children for the Early Head Start program.
Greetings, my name is Brittany Gregory. I am the Director of Programs for our Program and Evaluation Department.
Awesome, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I just wanted to ask you guys a few questions. Hopefully this podcast will be enlightening for, anyone that is looking to understand what Black leadership looks like and what it feels like. And, just in a transparent moment, how do you feel? I know we have a lot of firsts at the Partnership. And so, Danielle, do you want to tell us what you are the first to do at the Partnership?
I knew you were going to do that, Kayla. But yes, I'm really honored and excited to share that I'm the first Black female, and I believe Black individual, to lead the Partnership in its history. So yes, that's my first here with the Partnership.
And the Partnership has been around for how long?
Oh gosh, 27. With the pandemic, the years blurs. But I believe we have been around for 27 years. I've been with the Partnership since 2008.
That's amazing. Yes, so the Partnership was founded in 1994, and that is just groundbreaking to know that, again, history is still being made, and there's still areas for people to grow in and become the first in. And if it's my understanding that this is the first time that these three leadership roles, which Shakima and Brittany also occupy, is the first time in the Partnership's history that they've all been African American, correct?
So actually, I would say yes. And the reason why I say that is because Brittany is in the seat that was formerly held by me, but it was a different title. So technically, with Brittany's position and title, you can say yes, that she is the first. And I would like to say that Shakima is the first Black female, I believe, yes, to hold her seat as well with the Partnership.
And this is the first simultaneously, I should say, you all filled the seat at the same time.
Yes. So this is, I remember sharing with you, Kayla, a comment that said this was the brownest that the Partnership has ever been. So I didn't know if to take that as a highlight plug, or as they would say, the kids would say, some shade. But either way, I'm really excited to share leadership with these phenomenal women of color.
Yes, well, we're going to take it as a compliment because I definitely think it is. And so my first question for you ladies is, what experiences do you feel like equipped you for leadership at the Partnership?
As I reflect, I would say every experience that I've encountered in my career, both my professional career and personal life, I would say prepared me for this seat. Of course, there are different, situations that you just can't be prepared for, but there is some form of foundation that helps to support you as you do, try to navigate those new spaces and waters. Growing up, as many may know, I grew up in Harlem and worked in Brooklyn, but I came from a home that was heavily grounded in community organization and social justice. So I grew up seeing my mom as a leader, as a deputy director in Head Start, as a leader serving in senior citizens programs, as a leader with summer youth programs, as a leader with homeless services. So I grew up seeing a Black female leader in my household and in my community. And then while working in Brooklyn, all of my immediate supervisors were Black women. And those Black women, including my mom, were always, just encouraging me, telling me, we see so much in you. We see leadership in you. And they were constantly assisting me in perfecting my leadership and really taking chances on seeing myself as a leader. So that's that was instilled in me and helped support and prepare me for the current seat that I'm sitting in, which I would say was a challenge because there aren't many women, I would say, in leadership seats within my arena per se. I don't see too many women of color or those who identify as women of color. So it was definitely needed and necessary for me to receive that foundation from my mom and my former supervisors.
Awesome. Shakima?
I think for me, I grew up in a town called Rayford, North Carolina, where my mother was a teacher. And so being able to see her in that role as an educator, I think really prepared me for my role. And every role that I've held has prepared me for it, both professionally and personally, has prepared me for this role. And just really taking that dive into that leadership and really seeing what is needed and preparing myself mentally for those tasks at hand. And as Danielle said, there's going to be things that's going to happen that you may not necessarily know at the forefront that it's going to happen, but it's going to lay out that foundation to prepare you for it.
Brittany?
So I grew up right down the road from Shakima in Southern Pines, North Carolina, which is also another small town in the middle of our state. And the way that I looked at this question, it was twofold, like what formal spaces prepared me for this and what informal spaces. So just thinking about growing up, I grew up in a neighborhood that was very interconnected in West Southern Pines, where folks knew your family, your people's people, and everyone everyone played a role in helping like raise the children. Like when you say it takes a village, like I was fortunate to be part of a neighborhood and community that modeled that for me. And so that is one of the informal spaces that I feel like I got. I was able to just see leaders and folks lead from where they are, especially my grandparents. And then formally, I have worked like in the classroom, but really I'd have to give kudos to two specific mentors that I think specifically helped me realize that preparing for leadership is just more than what you learn in class. So the first would be the principal of my first teaching job, who was a Black woman, and she wanted to make sure that there was diversity in her teaching staff that reflected the students that were served. And then I would say my second biggest mentor would be Danielle. When I came to the partnership in 2017, she's really played an integral part in helping me realize that leadership skills also comes from our life experiences and to trust our gut. And I feel like I'm really fortunate to work for an agency, and especially like on this topic of just Black leadership, that I've, especially being a resident millennial, that it is phenomenal to just be part of a team and see the transformation of an organization to reflect the community like in real time. I'm just constantly in awe of the work of Danielle and what she does lead in partnership. I know it's not an easy job, but she definitely makes it look easy.
I promise you guys, I did not know Britt was going to say that, nor did I pay her in free time. So I'm just really honored and I appreciate that, Britt. So thank you.
Oh, no problem. It's like you said, you got to give people your flowers, and were like that missing piece in my work experience to connect all the dots together to realize that, you know what, I can take on a leadership position. Being a school nerd, I always feel like I have to wait for permission, but to break barriers and to make change, like you can't always wait for someone to give you the go ahead.
Brittany, thank you for dropping nuggets, because that hit home for me. So that was so good, because I often feel like I have to ask for permission as well to do stuff, and Danielle does give you that space to create and mold and shape whatever area you're working in. So that's awesome. Thanks for highlighting that. So the next question is, what advice would you give your younger self or someone coming behind you? And Danielle, we're going to start with you.
Well, I guess I'm kind of Brittany, that was a great segue. I would give my younger self, I would say, embrace who you are and stand true in who you are. I would say that, again, although I grew up in Harlem, I attended primarily white institutions. So before I knew what imposter syndrome was, I was having that experience because there was never a welcoming space for me. And I think that's why I became so much, as Brittany would say, I'm not going to wait for you to invite me. I'm going to show up. If it's in me, I'm going to show up and make space for myself. So I think that's what I would definitely tell my younger self. Stand in your truth, stand in who you are, be courageous, continue to be courageous, use your voice to speak power to truth. And I use that because that's what I hope I'm giving to my staff, Brittany, to Shakima, to you, Kayla. I want to ensure that we're creating that space for us all to show up as who we are and to bring our skills and to just thrive in the work that we do.
Shakima?
So mine is kind of twofold. My mom and my dad always told me to remember who you are and whose you are, and always do what's right regardless of who's doing wrong.
I love that. Because you never know who's watching. And even if they are or are not, you still should do what you're supposed to do. I love that. Brittany?
I would tell my younger self, and I feel like I still tell myself this day to day, is to relax, breathe. There are things that you can control. There are things that you cannot control. And then also, too, you can't do it all. And when you try to do it all, others around you can't grow.
Wow. That's good. So the next question, I kind of thought about it a little more, and I think I should add more to the end of it, but it's, what challenges have you overcome in the workplace, but more importantly, as you ascended to leadership, I should say?
Yeah.
Take your time.
I don't want to give off a false notion that it's been easy, because it hasn't, but there hasn't been any true gut-wrenching challenges. I would say for myself, there hasn't been any. Has there been incidences of subtle racism? Yes, there have. And I think sometimes, again, because of the climate that I grew up in, and I don't want to say you become numb to it, but it's almost like, how can I say, it's you growing up Black in America. I mean, I think that can be it right there. Growing up Black in America, you understand that you will have to encounter it in some shape, form, or fashion, unfortunately.
Right.
So I think because of that, it's like how, you hear the conversation of parents saying that they had to have the conversation with their Black male child. So I kind of likened my situation kind of to that you'd have to expect it, because again, you're growing up Black in America. So I'm hoping that will change. I am seeing some change to that. So I would say that's the biggest, that has been my biggest challenge. And I think also because of my approach to situations, I'm very much a strength-based, solution-oriented individual. So when challenges do arise, I don't really see them as a challenge, if you will. It's more like, okay, how can I get creative to solve this problem? Or how can I get creative to address this situation? So I think that's why I had to pause and say, challenge, what are they? Because I know with my team that's on the call even now, I don't know, do you guys think we have challenges, or have you experienced challenges because of the way we do approach the work?
I would say the challenges that we do experience aren't necessarily towards us as individuals. It's more of challenges within the systems that we work in.
Right.
And it's great that y'all are saying that answer, kind of shifted the direction of the conversation, because it's true. I think sometimes a lot of people misconstrue being Black in America as, okay, well, slavery's over, so there are no more issues for you to deal with. They say, oh, you're the executive director, you're the director of programs, so we've made progress, which is true, but it's not necessarily the face-to-face racism sometimes. Sometimes it is within the systems and how we navigate the systems and how that affects our community. So I think you guys are bringing up amazing points.
I think for me, just mainly some of the challenges that I've overcome in the workplace is really just the children, just making sure that the children are getting what they're needing, and realizing that I can't be everything to them, but I can ensure that they're getting what they're needing, even though it may look different or look in a way that others may not understand. But really being able to ensure that they're getting the supports and the services that they're needing in a unique way.
Right. I think that kind of ties back to that systems challenge.
It does.
So yeah, I would definitely agree with that. It's that systems challenge. And I think because, for so many of us, the programs that we operate and we have oversight for, we were part of those programs. I was an early Head Start parent. I was a Head Start baby. So I think because we have that personal interaction with these programs, that's why it looks different and it feels different when we say the challenges that we have to address. It's really much a systems challenge, and not so much, as Brittany and Shakima mentioned, that individual, personal challenge. It's challenging the system to ensure equity, challenging the system to embrace cultural diversity. So yeah, I would say those are our challenges.
Yeah. No, I definitely get that. And I think that that's one of the important things about having Black leadership, especially if it's reflective of the community that you're serving, is that you understand the children we serve on a different level. So that's amazing. So our last question, and hopefully it's more of a fun question, but what is your leadership style? What would you say your leadership style is? Now, it may be different to your staff, but, I'm going to let y'all go.
But, it's funny because I feel like, again, the three of you represent my leadership style, which is transformational. I not only want to transform the work that we do, but the individuals that I work with. And transforming meaning to empower them, to support them. So I feel like my leadership style is evident. It's true. So it is transformational, and it's also situational. So again, depending on that situation that we're having to address, I may have to modify or adjust my leadership style to address that current situation. But definitely, I would say my primary style is transformation.
I think my primary style, I think I have more of a shared leadership style of whenever it comes down to some of those decision making, getting my staff's input, seeing what the team is thinking, what they're needing, using that input to make some of those decisions, and really using their input and giving them the autonomy as well.
Brittany?
So I would say this was a tough one for me. I would say pace setting, which I know is a little different in the sense of, I bring it back to when I was in the classroom, where you have like your standard or end result, and then you work backwards from there. Like, what strategies do you need? What support do you need to reach these goals? So I guess that kind of also looks like shared leadership as well.
Well, I would say from what I've observed from the three of you, y'all are pretty accurate with diagnosing yourself. So that's awesome, because some people are like, I think I'm this kind of leader. You like, for real, really? But no, you guys, no, that's pretty accurate from what I see. I mean, I definitely see transformational for sure. And Danielle, like, it's all through the partnership, even to the staff, like what we look like, how we're changing, the roles that are changing. I feel like Shakima and Brittany, y'all definitely take part in sharing in what's going on, but also it's like, I'm here for you if you really need me to take it over, but how can I assist you take on this role, which is awesome because you're equipping the rest of the staff to be leaders, and I feel like all of you do that awesome. So this was a good conversation. I appreciate talking to you all.
This was fun.
Yeah, this was really fun.
So, any last remarks or anything you want to leave the people with before we head out?
To continue to support the partnership and support it as an ambassador. Tell folks about the great work that is taking place in the partnership. Find ways to contribute your time and resources to support the great work that is taking place.
So, ladies, I just want to thank you for partaking in this conversation. Hopefully it will reach the people that it needs to reach, touch the people that it needs to touch, and inspire those. If anybody's interested in supporting the partnership, you can visit our website at www.dpfc.net. My name is Kayla Grigsby. You've been talking to Danielle Johnson, Executive Director, Shakima Crawford, and Brittany Gregory. Some 3 awesome ladies who are leading the partnership in an amazing direction. So stay tuned for our next podcast episode, and we will chat with you guys next time.